What's up, YouTube? It's Artisan MC. What up, BMT? I don't know what I checked in on yesterday on News Tools panel, but we're trying to get the business. Somebody was trying to get you the business, huh? You had some more unpopular opinions, huh? I listened to some of that late. What was it, like 11 o'clock on my side? Let me just divert for a minute, folks, but talk to BMT. I was saying it in the chat while you and Charles were trying to talk to BK. And I broke it down really simply how he's trying to equate that he would kill over his mother and his auntie and thinking it's just the equivalent as having a child. It's not. Point being, you never raised your auntie or your mama. Your auntie or your mama didn't come from your sack. Watch it gestate in a woman that you had. Watch it be born if you're lucky, and teach it how to walk, talk, behave, act like a man, and all that. Right? You didn't do that to your aunt and your mother. It's completely different. You got to look no further than thinking of something that you've been wanting to do your whole life, like building a classic car or something like that. And then watch a motherfucker go out there and take a sledgehammer to it. After you finish, you got everything just the way you wanted it, and they just destroyed it in front of you. You'll be ready to kill them. That's what it's like for your children and a man with his children. It's not like that for your mother and auntie. Reason being, they're already older than you. So they might have lived their life. Your children are never older than you and have never gotten to live their life yet. That's what incenses you so much. Your mother and your auntie are not your legacy going forward, who you are going forward. Your children are. Your children are you going forward. That means somebody killing them is killing you. That's why it's not an equivalency to dudes talking about, oh, I got family. You don't have a family. You're from a family. You don't have a family. There is a difference. And I don't say that as a disrespect, but it's too much equivocating on this shit to make it understand that you guys aren't doing the same shit everybody else is. It's not. There is a difference. It's a very stark difference. And that's why you try to be nice and say, well, if you don't have it, we can't really have this conversation. You can't really equivocate, but then you want to equivocate everything. That's like a child trying to argue with an adult. You ain't got adult problems. You got you problems. And I got train problems. Partisan MC. What up, UFO? Yeah, I heard you, BMT. You was gonna snap. But I get there's no respect to any of the brothers on the panel, but I get what certain brothers get at. They get at that doom and gloom shit and want to see everything burn up because they have nothing invested in this world anyway. That's why. Why can the Joker look for everything to, be chaotic and messed up and have willy-nilly attitude to go around and just, wanting destruction and shit like that, that everything is breaking down? Because the Joker has nothing invested in this world. The Joker ain't got kids. Fucking hyenas, he don't care. He has nothing invested in this world. To seeing it at least limp on better than it was when he got to it. You know what they say about people with nothing to lose? People with nothing to lose are dangerous for that very reason, because they have nothing to lose. They have nothing that ties them to this shit. They're no different than Dr. Manhattan figuring out, oh, this bitch had cheated on me, but I don't have my wife anymore. Oh, fuck humanity. I'm out. No different. Unattached to the human condition, because you haven't done that most human of endeavors, which is procreation and recreating yourself and teaching another life that you are actually responsible. A lot of motherfuckers get up here and talk and think they teaching young men, but they ain't took the time to see if any of this shit worked necessarily, because they ain't had to teach it to somebody they're actually responsible for. They can teach it to a bunch of strangers, so if it don't work or get fucked up results, they're not responsible for it. They can always shirk that responsibility and say, oh, well, that's on them. They did, they fucked up some kind of way. When it's your child, your son, your daughter, you don't get to shirk it like that. It's always on you, their whole life. It's based on what you have taught them. Not society. You. That's the difference. So, you pop in here came out because I was thinking that last night. It's like, keep running into this conversation, motherfuckers getting their feelings about this shit. Like, look, motherfucker, I wouldn't say that I went out and planned to have my fucking kids young. Not necessarily. It wasn't a cognitive plan. But having sex without a condom is kind of a plan too, right? The end results are just the end results. It happens. That's nature taking its course. But I understand that is a dividing line that separates people and unites certain people on the understanding of what family is and what stake you have in this world, why you care about certain things and why you don't. You can see it in behaviors. I said this before. Kids help certain dudes grow up because they don't get to be so selfish for so long that it's just all about them. Kids can help certain women grow up, but it can also be, depending on the person, that thing that they run from, because it's responsibility. It's that whatever you think you believe, whatever ideals and morals and all that shit that you have, that you think is so right and stuff, you get to prove it by teaching it to a child and seeing how it works for them. Teaching it to somebody that you are actually responsible for, that everybody knows you taught this motherfucker. You taught him. Nobody else, you. Their success, their failure is directly related to what you instilled in them. Up to a point. So that's why I don't like this equivocate. Well, I have family. You don't have family. You're from a family. You're a child in that family. To this day. From 0 to 30, there's still people above you 20 or 30 years, and you have not put into that family yet by reproducing yourself like they reproduced your ass. So you are from a family, you don't have a family. Because as a man, your family is what you make. Your kids, your woman, your husband, whatever have you, those are yours. That is your family. That is the progression of your family line under your leadership. That is your family. Other than that, you just a side dish on somebody else's plate. What did he say? I wasn't trying to explain, Brother PK, that the emotional drive of a kid can push me over the edge if I lost just one of my little ones. Yeah, look, you ain't got to tell me, BMT. You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to tell me at all. I know exactly what I would do and how hard I would have to go against somebody. Would I do the same for the rest of my family? Maybe. About. But the progression, my seeds, my actual seeds that I dropped in fertile earth of a womb and grew, raised, taught them how to walk, talk, fish, shoot, all that shit? Hell fucking no. There's going to be a whole different level of vengeance coming for fucking with them like that. Whole different level. Whole different level. And to try to say, well, it's the same thing because I got a brother. It's not the same thing because I got a brother. It's not the same thing as I got an auntie. These are people that raised me, saw me grew up. It's not the fucking same thing. There's affection there, but it is not that overriding vengeance that you have just taken everything from me. My being that I've poured into another one, you have taken that from me. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Completely different. I can't just wish for the end of my family. Still wants their chance and still have something to protect. Yeah, you always have something to protect. If you haven't put anything into this world of your own, outside of hot air and words, you really don't have shit to protect. It's all just stuff. It's all stuff. Even if you single, you bought a house and you got $100K in the bank and all the rest of that shit, what good is that if you don't have any fucking children? Where's it going? Who's it for? As a single man, I don't need to buy a house. I don't. I really don't. Single men don't need much. Don't. Don't even need a fucking dog or a yard or none of that shit. I'm a single man right now. You know about the most that I fucking need? A roof over my head, somewhere to sleep, and some food to eat. Plain and simple. Oh, and a car to drive to get to wherever the hell it is I feel like I want to be. Very minimal. Very minimalist. But what gives me some extra meaning and some extra happiness is having those two children that look like me, that call me dad, that go forth into the world and do good or do whatever, have children and have grandchildren. Because that's me going forward. That part, it might not matter what happened to me after that. But I've done my bid for humanity. I put some good out into the world. And the way that guy was coming at us like we were cowards for not wanting our kids to grow in madness. Yeah, he do that shit. He do that reactionary shit just to be coming at people. It is what it is. I never get into faceless conversations or arguments like that because it's pointless. Like I told Truth that time. Don't be talking crazy to no grown man and don't look him in the face. Don't be talking crazy to no grown man. You don't have the balls to turn your camera on and look them in the face and say that shit. That's bad form. You can't call somebody a coward from behind an avatar. It makes no damn sense. It sounds really hollow. But you know how it is. It's the internet. Everybody want to be the biggest, baddest motherfucker that you ever never seen. Look, we all men, we all bleed, and we all gonna fucking die. Maybe it's being the Gen Xer to me, but wrong fucking words can make that really quickly. You don't be running up on everybody like you just know them and can talk crazy. Truth is, nobody give a fuck about where the fuck you came from. You black men, you all came from a fucked up place. All of you. Even if you think middle class people don't have fucked up situations where they're dealing with, they're the only ones where they are and dealing with all white folks and abuse and different forms of racism. Tripping. To get your ass out and experience more of the world. So, no, that's a total derailment from what I was coming on here to talk about. But I saw BMT in here and I fell asleep listening to that damn stream. So apparently it was still in my head. But protecting the family you come from is not the same thing as protecting the family that you have made. Think of it like this. There's an emergency. A bomb fucking goes off somewhere, right? Got your mother and father on one side of town, assumingly in the most, standard situation that there is a mother and a father together, and not just your mama somewhere on one side of town. Then on the other side of town, assumably, you have a wife or a husband and kids. Your kids are on the other side of town. You can only go save one. Who do you go and save? Your fucking mama? Or your kids? Your mama grown. She should know how to take care of herself and be able to take care of herself a minute while you go get the kids. That's how that shit works. But that programming is such that you're supposed to think those people come before your fucking seeds. That's why you don't have any. Because you're not supposed to be anything but somebody to care for them. Angry Man was talking about this shit just last night, making it so fucking eloquent point without all the profanity that I would use. Very eloquent point. You there to protect them. That's why you ain't never having kids. You there for their purposes. Son, husband, CompuServe. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's anyway. The actual geek part of this shit was I was kind of excited for Obi-Gun coming out. I think it's tomorrow night. But I also remember that Top Gun 2 is coming out this Friday. So I got some TV watching or movie watching to do. Some TV and movie watching to do. Yeah, BMT. I heard that. GB on one at one point because he's coming in different. And one of the things I think that G was coming at y'all so hard is they always downplay G as being ignorant as fuck for how he talks. And that's why I gave G some shine before, because I actually listened to the brother, what he had to say. He couldn't get like 30 seconds of an actual question out when people was jumping all over him, talking all over him at the same time and telling him not to talk over everybody else. It's like, that's fucking stupid, dude. You gotta actually shut up and let him get out what he's trying to say before you cut him off. Kind of do. It's hard, right? Especially when you have delays and different levels of microphones and shit like that. That shit gets irritating. That's why I try to do it only on the last part of my show. Fucking irritating me, right? But be that as it may, they always try to downplay him like you fucking stupid. G is not stupid. Not a stupid dude. Not an ignorant dude. He's done some ignorant shit. But my gauge on him is that he's actually somebody who has had to live a certain life. Try to escape it in his way mentally, but it's still part and parcel of that life. So he's not speaking on it from a objective sense. He's speaking on it because he's actually done it, lived it, still there. That's what it is. So understanding that, you would conversate with that person differently because they actually have practical experience. But what you see in this space a lot is that motherfuckers don't like people with practical experience to their fucking theory. Because theory don't mean shit until the rubber meets the road. Like Tyson said, everybody got a plan till you get hit. I would have did this, I would have did that. You should do this, you should do that. Have you ever done it? Well, that's not the point. It is the fucking point. That means you're talking out your ass with a trumpet. But no practical knowledge on it. No practical experience doing it. No practical experience implementing the shit that you're saying. And seeing how it turns out. That's a different thing. So, anyway. And Charles getting upset, yeah, I'm sure a Valor challenge would piss Charles off. It's the wrong person to be talking that shit to. That's the wrong person. I told you I had to take a step back and really do the math on that shit with Charles about shit. This nigga was going into the military when 9/11 happened. He was already in boot camp. So he wasn't one of those people who just joined up and decided, this is what I want to do now. I'm going to be a soldier. No, he had already been a soldier. And his family was soldiers. He come from a lineage of that. And how young he was. Like, oh, fuck. Charles is at least 10 years younger than me. At least. I'm like, I know where I was when 9/11 happened. I was laying in bed off of work and heard the helicopters flying overhead from my closest air base. Charles was in boot. I had 2 kids at that point. And what? This young motherfucker was going out there to actually execute this damn war. Oh, shit. Much respect to you. Because I know motherfuckers in my generation at 18 was trying to find ways to run away from a military stint with Desert Storm and shit like that. I'm going to go to Canada. I'm going to leave. They can't make me. I'm a conscientious objector. Sound like a fucking coward. That's what it sounds like to me. But that's it. I didn't come to talk about that shit, but I'm at work and we got a staff meeting in a little bit, so I got to get out of here and get on that. Yeah, what's up, Beastly Nerd? Yeah, armchair quarterback. Always armchair quarterback. That's the only time the motherfuckers do. On the Madden sticks. Lazy boy quarterback. But I don't say that to disparage anybody. I'm just saying that there is a huge fucking difference. And the fact that you don't see it points out how much of a difference it is. You're trying to make equivocations and it's not. The great equalizer for a lot of men is having children. That's the equalizer. You know why? Because even as a 20-year-old having a child, which could seem like a mistake, you automatically have something to relate to a man who's 3 times your fucking age, who's raised kids. Because it's a whole different journey. Whole different journey. Whole different set of skills you can learn. Whole different skills that make you grow as a man. My whole thing was this, and I told my daughter this before. It was like, how do you get out of being considered the child if you never do anything like an adult? You always the kid. So everywhere you go with the family, you're the youngest person in the room. Now, I know this is common in her age group a lot that they don't want to have kids, but like I tell them, stop being so fucking selfish. All the money and time and effort we poured into you, of educating you, feeding you, clothing you, helping you raise, letting you have extracurriculars, sending you to travel all over the world and shit like that. You're going to take all of that from your parents' sacrifices they made and just not put it into another child? So what's the point of doing all that shit for you? You might as well have raised your ass in the hood and not taught you shit. He wasn't going to do anything with it anyway. That's selfishness. That is the I generation, is what I call them. The iPad, the iPhone, the iPod, it's all I. All me. That's a selfish generation. That's why they don't want to have kids, because they don't want to have to, one, grow up, and two, have to share. Because then they have to get out their role of being children and have to actually be adults like everybody else. So that's it. I got to get out of here, you guys. No, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. If I can turn this off really quickly and smoothly, I can't because it's not set up. I wasn't ready. All right, here we go. Bye, y'all.